get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show.
I still remember when the Diversity Council was first announced. I think I was one of the very first people to reach out and say, I want to be on it. The ones that was just announced and reached out to Charmaine and said, hey, let me help. And we did a few events and stuff. My life has kind of gotten in. I've now do more with like HETMA's diversity stuff than I do. I'm not going to leave the Diversity Council because I believe in it. And, at ISE, I was on the panel there at ISE helping out. And I have my own personal reasons. I put them in a tweet that I shouldn't, first off, it's all wrong to have to out somebody, period, to prove why they are. That was completely wrong and inappropriate.
And it's just not relevant. Your why
right?
is not relevant.
And so that to me that's the one part that angers me, because you should never have to make someone out themselves or their family in order to prove that they belong in any diversity thing, first off. Okay, sorry, I got worked up on that one. But my point is, I also know that, like a lot of, everyone knows I'm a conservative guy. I'm an old white male, white male. So what? And I also sit there and go, but I also care about diversity issues. They're not exclusive to one party or one side. But isn't it good for our industry that's mostly, right, middle-aged white guys or older white guys who kind of came up in my thing, to see one of them on a panel caring about these things, showing up and saying, hey, we need to think about this as an industry and how we can bring others into the conversation, build up. Another one of my loves is young professionals. You see, I love building up young professionals. That's because and can now we bring up young, diverse professionals. I have a very, very, the Women's Council is even more into my heart because I was raised by a single mom. I love seeing strong women come to power, right? And be lifted up. Okay, so isn't it good when 60-70% of our industries are photocopies of me, for them to see a me in that situation saying, look, it's okay for us to do this, right?
And that's the bit that I don't get. I don't get why. I don't get the question. It's not a question in I don't see it as a question. It's more of a why not.
Yeah.
It's not a why, it's a why not.
Yeah.
And you mentioned about sort of outing your background, and sorry, I've got a bit of a frog in my throat. It's not corona.
It's okay. We're socially distanced right now. So.
I'm not wearing a mask. That was a whole nother can of fish, a can of worms, sorry. I'll edit this bit out because my throat's really going somehow. I don't know what's wrong with it. God.
See, I don't edit. I just leave things as they are. It's all when you get the great moments.
So I was just losing my train of thought. So people don't need to see my brain trying to tick. I'm at that ripe old age where it's a combination of COVID fog meets menopause fog. It's fantastic. So what a time to be alive, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned outing your background and your information that was personal to you that you hadn't shared so publicly, and feeling that you almost had to do that. And I completely agree with you that it's such a personal thing that but I just don't get why I just don't understand why you wouldn't be on any of the committees, because actually you're well known in the industry. You have a position where you have a platform, and actually if I had a committee, I'd want people like you on there because you've got an audience and you've got followers, and so if you put something out, there's a chance that will have a wider effect, positive effect, hopefully, but the message travels a bit further, and that's all any of us are trying to do. I haven't started this little pod video cast for any kind of benefit or whatever. Yeah, I've definitely benefited from getting to know more people and getting out and being invited to speak at things. But my aim really is about raising awareness, and the only way, and I can raise awareness more if I'm connected to people who are connected to a lot of people who can then tell people whatever.
Yeah.
And we, you know, and all of us, I think, are, and this was the sad thing about that particular thread on Twitter, we all want the same thing, which both sides of the argument all want the same thing. They want the world to be a better place.
Mhm.
So sometimes it's about stopping, I think, and just taking a step back and thinking, hang on, what is it that I actually want to achieve? What am I doing? There's no great fix for that. I never have a great fix. I think I'm constantly saying, I don't have an answer for this. And I really don't, other than maybe it is time to, you know, I know the world of adulting is scary sometimes, but sometimes it's better to be a child. I think actually maybe we need to go the other way, because when I see some kids and the way they get on a lot better and behave a lot better than so many adults I know.
100%.
So maybe it isn't about putting on big boy pants or growing up. Maybe it's kind of get back to how you were. Don't overcomplicate things and keep it simple.
Yep. Yeah. No, I think that's a great point, because that's the thing is we always talk about kids having kind of an innocence, because it's like the innocence because they don't know any better, or innocence because they don't care. They don't.
And they just don't
judge.
see things. They don't see the barriers that we put in front. And we become so conditioned by our environments, whether it's the media, whether it's the company we keep, whether it's who we work with. We become conditioned that we should like this way of life and not another way of life. Or, you know, it could be from religion, could be from so many sources. It just doesn't need to be that complicated, I don't think.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I think that's, I mean, and again, I don't know that we're going to find the solution, and we're not going to, but I think that's it. I mean, I also look at, okay, we know that there's a lot of lurkers on Twitter too. I mean, the fact is, we all know. I mean,
We know
just
who you
sheer
are.
number of DMs that came in through this. People are watching, and so the way we handle ourselves too really does impact, you know, how people think about our industry, right? Like you said, like you were saying, why put me on, like, I'm not dumb. I know why I get invited to webinars, because I'm going to tweet it out and I'm going to post it on the back end. Like, I'm not dumb. It's going to get you an audience, right? But that is also probably why people should put me on a panel that has an issue that's important, because it will at least get the eyes on it and have the conversation, right? And on the flip side, that's also where we hurt ourselves when we come onto platforms like Twitter and attack one another for things that, you know, we either can't change because we're born a certain way. I am a middle-aged white guy. I can't change that until I'm an old white guy, right? So trust me, that then, and but can we have that intention of coming together and going, look, we all want this industry to be a better place. We all want the industry to grow. We want it to expand. We're in a transformational time in technology, especially now the world is staring at us. And this was also the point I made in both articles. IT departments can do our job, especially as we do UC technologies. And so what if we want to survive, we can't be bickering in public places, because guess what? No one wants to deal with that. And that's what they see. They're going to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And, you know, and you don't see that in the other circles. Now, granted, we don't live in those circles, so maybe they do the same thing. But if we really want to take our niche and have it be successful and grow, we have to show unity. Even in disagreement, we have to show unity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that, you know, that phrase, agree to disagree. But, you know, I'll just add to that. I've had criticism because I'd been sent, you know, over the last few years, I get sent things for free, swag, whatever. Why is she getting it? And I just reply, I'm cheaper than an advert. That's why. It's a no-brainer, because I will say thank you, and I will share whatever it is that people send. It's just, I think sometimes people say things without actually processing and thinking through what they've said. I would hope that 9 times out of 10 people then actually take a step back and think, yeah, maybe in the same way that they think you got it wrong, maybe they got it wrong too. You know, it's not just getting something wrong is also not a one-way street. You know, it's my way or the highway kind of thing. There's a bit of flexibility. So, you know, I think flexibility and a bit of understanding would be my message, my gift to the world. If I had a magic wand, is and you mentioned grace and giving people a bit of, you know, a bit of a grace period to actually really understand. And I mean, we've all done it. We've all written things and hit send before thinking that I didn't mean to say it like that, or I could have, and then read it back afterwards and thought, oh my gosh, you know, it shouldn't have been that way or whatever. But yeah, it's we can try, we can keep trying, we'll keep trying.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit, I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit, I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.